While Christina Applegate has starred in a lot of comedies and is known for making people laugh, her true life story is much more tragic. From heartbreaking diagnoses to devastating losses, she's persevered through it all. Christina Applegate was born in 1971 to Bob Applegate, a record producer, and Nancy Pretty, an actress. They could have been the ultimate entertainment industry family, but the relationship between her parents didn't last. When Christina was only 5 months old, her mom and dad divorced. While she lived with Pretty in the Laurel Canyon area of Los Angeles, California, Bob moved more than 5 hours north to Big Sur. Given the distance, he and his daughter weren't close during her youth, which is something that both came to regret. In an episode of Who Do You Think You Are?, Christina said,
"I didn't get to spend the kind of time with him that I think either he or I would have liked to have spent."
But with time, and especially after the birth of Christina's own daughter Sadie in 2011, they've grown closer. After saying that it's been nice that he's spending more time with them, she said,
We're bonded because of blood, but we're also bonded because I'm part of him and part of his personality.
Since Christina Applegate grew up in a single-parent household, money was tight. That's why, beginning at the age of 1, she appeared in commercials and shows to help make ends meet. She even appeared alongside her mother in an episode of Days of Our Lives. Applegate told backstage, "It was something that I was always doing because I had to for survival. My mom, that was how we made our money. Me doing radio commercials or whatever. It's how we were fed. It's all I've ever known." Though Applegate considered stepping away from the industry at the age of 13 as she craved a normal teenage life, she quickly realized that she had developed a true passion for it. She said, "At 13, do you even understand what having a passion for something is? I don't think so. All I knew is that the idea of it going away didn't feel right to me, didn't sit right. I don't know what I would have done if I had just gone off and had the freedom of being a normal kid." Only a few years after this fateful revelation, Applegate was catapulted into the spotlight at 16 when she made her debut as Kelly Bundy on Married with Children. She went on to enjoy a lengthy career on TV and in movies, despite turning down the hit Reese Witherspoon rom-com Legally Blonde.
It's nice to meet you, Emma.
Phoebe.
Oh, that's a funny noise.
In 2008, at the age of 36, Applegate became a breast cancer survivor thanks to early detection. Since her mother Nancy was diagnosed in her 30s with a recurrence in her 50s, she knew that she might have to endure the same battle someday. To be on the safe side, she began undergoing frequent screenings in her 30s, which helped her catch the disease quickly. Though the cancer was confined to one breast, Applegate decided to have a double mastectomy, reducing the possibility of a recurrence. It was a rough time for Applegate, but her fame made it all the more difficult. Rumors of her cancer and subsequent mastectomy began swirling, and only 2 months post-surgery, her work on Samantha Who required her to attend the Emmy Awards as a nominee for Best Actress in a Comedy Series. Applegate told Women's Health of attending the ceremony, "It was my coming out, I guess. I knew everyone would be looking. I just thought, please don't cry, please don't cry, please don't cry." After making it through to the other side, Applegate wanted to help as many high-risk women as possible get access to early detection testing and founded Right Action for Women. She said, "I found out that there was something wrong after my MRI. Had it not been for the test, I don't know what would have happened."
So you just made the decision that you were going to let both go?
Yep, I was just gonna let them go.
In 1997, Christina Applegate began dating Jonathan Scheck, a fellow actor who, 1 year prior, rose to stardom thanks to his portrayal of brooding rocker Jimmy in the Tom Hanks-led That Thing You Do. 4 years later, the couple tied the knot. However, this romance was short-lived, with the two separating in 2005 and officially divorcing in 2007. While some celebrity breakups are rather contentious, there appear to be no hard feelings between Applegate and Scheck. He said on an episode of Jana Kramer's Wind Down podcast, "I loved her so much. I still love her so much. I don't think my wife, Julie Solomon, will ever be offended that I would ever say that." When Applegate married Dutch bassist Martin Lenoble in 2013, Scheck was nothing but supportive of his ex-wife. He told Us Weekly, "I love her very much, and I'm very happy for her and her family." Then, in 2024, after she walked onto the Emmy stage with a cane due to MS and received a standing ovation, Scheck posted on X, "She's the toughest human being I've ever met." Though the separation and divorce were initially hard on Scheck, he has since found happiness with Solomon, a brand strategist and podcast host with whom he shares 2 children. In the interim between her split from Jonathan Scheck and her relationship with Martin Lenoble, Christina Applegate saw Lee Grievous in an on-again, off-again capacity. She met the skateboarder, photographer, and Alaskan fisherman via a castmate from Broadway's Sweet Charity, in which Applegate starred in 2005. The couple initially seemed happy, with Grievous telling People, "I like making her smile, and she likes making me smile. It's really innocent and fun." However, behind the scenes, Grievous battled drug and alcohol addiction. This led to a shaky relationship with Applegate, who, according to reports, broke up with him numerous times when he failed to get sober. On July 1, 2008, at the age of 26, Grievous was found deceased in his Hollywood apartment. The cause of death was from an apparent overdose. Though Applegate and Grievous weren't romantically involved at the time, she issued a heartfelt statement. "I am profoundly saddened. Lee was an incredible human being who was an extremely important and beautiful part of my life. He is missed beyond words. He touched so many, and I feel much sadness for his mother, brother, and all of his family and friends." After her divorce from Jonathan Sheck and difficult relationship with Lee Grievous, Applegate found happiness with Martin Lenoble, and the two got engaged in 2010 on Valentine's Day. In 2012, Lenoble began receiving threatening messages on X from a fan who took his parasocial relationship with Applegate to a concerning level. One of the messages said, "You stole Christina away from me. If not for you, she would be mine." Another said, "I'm going to bust your head in for taking her away from me. Be afraid. Be very afraid." As the LAPD launched an investigation, the anonymous profile was deleted. This isn't the only obsessed individual that Applegate has had to deal with over the years. An entire news segment was done on George Langer, a clothing salesman from Lombard, Illinois, whom the LAPD's Special Stalking Unit closely watched. Langer wrote weekly fan letters to Applegate for 2 years straight and even had a shrine of the actress in his bedroom.
"I just want you to know that I would never do such a thing to hurt you. All I want is just to meet you."
Many Christina Applegate fans might not be aware that, before her Married with Children fame, she boasted a strong passion for dance and trained for several years in her youth. Therefore, when granted the opportunity to star as the lead in Sweet Charity in 2005, she jumped at the chance. She said in a behind-the-scenes interview with Broadway.com, "Dancing, it was always just my thing. It was my personal journey that I was on, and I stopped taking lessons about 10 years ago. So getting back into it has been really hard." Challenges ensued early on when Applegate broke her foot during rehearsals for a pre-Broadway out-of-town run. A confusing few weeks ensued, during which producer Barry Weisler shared with the press that standby Charlotte D'Amboise would be the new lead. Though D'Amboise did star in the remainder of the out-of-town shows and New York previews, Applegate took back the helm on April 18th. Sweet Charity ended its Broadway run on December 31st that same year. Turns out, Applegate's time doing dance-heavy musicals ended due to having rushed the recovery of her foot. She said in an interview with TheInsider.com, "Broadway's the best thing that ever happened to me, but I actually can't dance anymore. And that is sad for me because I always wanted to go back, but I probably won't be able to." On August 10th, 2021, Christina Applegate took to social media to reveal a harrowing new part of her life. She wrote on X, "Hi friends, a few months ago I was diagnosed with MS. It's been a strange journey, but I have been so supported by people that I know who also have this condition. It's been a tough road, but as we all know, the road keeps going, unless some ass blocks it." One person of support has been Jamie Lynn Sigler, who was diagnosed with MS at the age of 20 while starring as mezzo-soprano on HBO's The Sopranos. Over the past few years, Applegate and Sigler have leaned on each other for support. Both appeared in a Good Morning America segment in which Applegate recalled her first symptom, a tingling sensation in her toes while filming Dead to Me in early 2021. By that summer, her condition worsened so much that she was brought to the set in a wheelchair. To share their respective stories on a larger scale and help others with MS feel less alone, Applegate and Sigler launched the podcast Messy. Applegate explained that sharing her MS struggles, including how angry she feels most days, is helping her shed the forced persona of light and levity that she put on for so long.
It's kind of my coming out party. Like, this is the person I've been this whole time.
Christina Applegate's MS diagnosis forced her to make a lot of changes for Dead to Me Season 3. Thankfully, everyone on set was accommodating to her needs, but she's unsure if she'd be so lucky on another TV or film set. She told People, "I'm afraid I don't know if anyone's going to accept me now, the way I am." That's why, on the heels of the final Dead to Me season, she felt it was unlikely that she'd act on camera again. In an interview with Vanity Fair, she said, "I can't even imagine going to set right now. This is a progressive disease. I don't know if I'm going to get worse." Though Applegate suggested that she can always do less intensive voiceover work to support her family and remain in the industry that she loves, she admitted to People that it would be difficult to say goodbye to the screen for good, adding, "To not be able to do it again, honestly, it hurts my heart." Hopefully, if this is the case, Applegate can take some solace in the life of her friend Jamie Lynn Sigler. Hollywood might not be casting Sigler for major roles anymore, but she's embracing other things that bring her joy, like her husband and kids, podcasting, and advocating for people with MS.
It's not my favorite disease. I've had a couple. It's not my favorite one.